Hi readers, it is witchy season in the Macklemore Casa, and I thought I'd do a couple videos about some witchy books that I have in my downstairs TBR, not my upstairs library. So I sorted them into sections. A lot of witchy books are romance or rom-coms, historical fiction, fantasy, and fewer than I thought, horror. But today we're going to talk about rom-coms. But first I'd like to tell you a story. So I have this book, This Coven Won't Break. It's a YA kind of romancy with some mystery going on. But this is a second book in a series. And I've scoured my TBR carts and gone through each of them twice looking for the first book, which I know I have because it's in my app. I went through all of them at least twice. A couple of them I went through 3 times, and then I'm about to give up, and I'm like, wait a second. At the end of last year, I thought I was going to do a blind book challenge for myself, but the very first book that I picked out ended up being a DNF, and I had wrapped all of the books and wrote a little summary of it, and turns out here's the first book that I have been scouring my downstairs for. It is called These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. Like I said, I think it's YA, but I love a little witchy series. A series that I don't have down here. It's on its way upstairs to be put away in the library. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was fantastic. Anyway, Hannah's a witch. But not the kind you're thinking of. She's the real deal, an elemental with the power to control fire, earth, water, and air. But even though she lives in Salem, Massachusetts, her magic is a secret she has to keep to herself. If she's caught using it in front of a read non-witch, she could lose it for good. So Hannah spends most of her time avoiding her ex-girlfriend and fellow elemental witch, Veronica, hanging out with her best friend, and working at the fly-by-night cauldron selling candles and crystals to tourists, goths, and local Wiccans. But dealing with her ex is the least of Hannah's concerns when evidence of dark magic begins to appear all over Salem. Hannah's so sure it's the work of a deadly blood witch, but her coven is less than convinced. So Hannah is forced to team up with the last person she wants to see, Veronica. And while the pair attempt to smoke out the blood witch, Hannah meets Morgan, a cute new ballerina in town. Trying to date amid a supernatural crisis is easier said than done, though especially when the attacks on Salem's witches become deadlier by the day. Now, with everything she loves on the line, Hannah must confront this murderous villain before her coven, and any chance she has with the new girl is destroyed. This seems like it'll be a fun read. A little bit of romance, a little bit of darkness. This I'm going to definitely try to get to this month. I'm not sure about the sequel. It'll depend on the first one. So in This Coven Won't Break, we assume that they escape the danger, and all Hannah Walsh wants is to finish high school. It's her senior year, so she should be focusing on classes, hanging out with her best friend, and flirting with her new girlfriend Morgan, the ballerina. But it turns out, surviving a murderous witch hunter doesn't exactly qualify as a summer vacation, and now the rest of the hunters seem more intent on destroying her magic than ever. Of course, Hannah knows a thing or two about juggling romance and recon missions, so when she learns the hunters have armed themselves with a serum capable of taking out entire covens at once, she doesn't think twice about helping. With witches across the country losing the most important thing they have, their power, Hannah could be their best shot at finally defeating the hunters. After all, she's one of the only witches to escape a hunter with her magic intact. Or, so everyone believes. Because as good as she is at faking it, doing even the smallest bit of magic leaves her in agony. The only person who can bring her comfort, who can make her power flourish, is Morgan. But Morgan's magic is on the line too. And if Hannah can't figure out how to save her and the rest of the witches, she'll lose everything she's ever known. As the hunters get dangerously close to their final target, will all the witches in Salem be enough to stop an enemy determined to destroy magic for good? We'll find out. So I've got 4 more. These are kind of, I'm calling them romance-y, witchy romance-y. This one is for fans of Alice Hoffman and Deborah Harkness. I almost picked up Deborah Harkness, A Discovery of Witches, yesterday, but it got mixed reviews, so I'm not sure about that. Anywho, this is What Became of Magic by Paige Crutcher. Aline Ware, a witch who can talk to ghosts, has kept her talents hidden ever since a disastrous middle school slumber party, choosing to be invisible and use her powers in secret to help lost souls reunite with the keys to send them home. All the while, she finds solace in a bookstore and the 3 mysterious women who run it, until Aline discovers the Book of Mischief and her powers are enhanced. Following a solitary path until the age of 30, Aline's life takes an unexpected turn when the wrong, or perhaps right, person witnesses her using her powers, and she's invited to a town that doesn't exist on any map. Arriving in Matchstick, Aline learns of a lost magic that desperately needs to be found, and only her unique powers can do it. But what she's not told is that magic is a person, one that is dangerous and seductive and has been waiting for a witch with a power like hers for centuries. One of the things I love about fantasy and witchy books is the world building and the character building. I'm hoping that these books live up to that because, a magical town, always awesome to me. So, let's go to the next magical town, in Witch of Wild Things by Raquel Vasquez Gilliland. Sage Flores has been running from her family and their gifts ever since her younger sister Sky died. 8 years later, Sage reluctantly returns to her hometown. Like slipping into an old, comforting sweater, Sage takes back her job at Cranberry Rose Company and uses her ability to communicate with plants to discover unusual heritage specimens. What should be a simple task is complicated by her partner in botany sleuthing, Tennessee Reyes. He broke her heart in high school, and she's never fully recovered. Working together is reminding her of all their past tender, genuine moments, and new feelings for this mature, sexy man are starting to take root in her heart. With rare plants to find, a dead sister who haunts her, and another sister whose anger fills the sky with lightning, Sage doesn't have time for romance, but being with 10 is like standing in the middle of a field on the cusp of a summer thunderstorm, supercharged and inevitable. So, plant magic, hedge witchy stuff. Next up is Playing the Witch card by KJ Dell'Antonia. I found this in the fantasy section of the Barnes & Noble, but I'm still calling it a romancy. Flair Hardwick knows 3 things. Magic is real, love isn't, and relying on either ends in disaster. So while she's grateful for the chance to take over her grandmother's Kansas bakery after she finally leaves her cheating husband, she won't be embracing Nana's fortune-telling side hustle. Hers is a strictly no-magic operation, until the innocent batch of tarot card cookies Flair bakes for the town's Halloween celebration unleashes the power of the family deck, luring Flair's unpredictable mother to town, tempting Flair's magic-obsessed daughter, and bringing back Flair's first love while ensnaring her ex in a curse she can't break. Flair's attempt to control the chaos only makes things worse, playing right into the hands of a powerful witch. Suddenly, there's far more at stake than her status as the most reluctant witch in town, and the magic Flair has long rejected becomes the only card she has left to play. One of the things that these have in common, and a lot of witch books do, are family and a sense of family, including found family, like the first 2 books. This final book, let's see if it has anything about family. It is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. Mariel Spark is prophesied to be the most powerful witch seen in centuries of the famed Spark family. But to the displeasure of her mother, she prefers baking to brewing potions and gardening to casting hexes. I hope there's a lot of food in this. I love a good story with food in it. And I love a story about a baker. When a spell to summon flour goes very wrong, Mariel finds herself staring down a demon, one she inadvertently summoned for a soul bargain. Osroth the Ruthless is a legend among demons. Powerful and merciless, he drives hard bargains to collect mortal souls. But his reputation has suffered ever since a bargain went awry. If he can strike one with Mariel, he will earn back his deadly reputation. Osroth can't leave Mariel's side until they complete a bargain, which she refuses to do. Turns out some humans are attached to their souls. But the witch is funny and curvy and disgustingly yet endearingly cheerful. Becoming awkward roommates quickly escalates when Mariel, terrified to confess the inadvertent summoning to her mother, blurts out that she's dating Osroth. As Osroth and Mariel struggle with their opposing goals and maintaining a fake relationship, real attraction blooms between them. But Osroth has a limited amount of time to strike the deal, and if Mariel gives up her soul, she'll lose her emotions, including love, which will only spell disaster from them both. I believe that Sarah has another book out in this vein. I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but if I enjoy this, I might pick that one up. Anywho, that's my romancy witchy video. And I'm going to at least read one of these books this month. I'm not sure which one. It is not going to be next. I'm finishing up one right now that will be in my stories at some point if it's not already been there. Anywho, that's it for me. Happy reading!